live stream has commenced. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the solution.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on, Pat Sammy? How you doing, my friend?
It's
going good, man.
Welcome to Money Crypto, our special guest this week. We're doing a bit of a different time than last week. Last week we had 47 live viewers, which was good for us on our third episode. But it looks like we're at quite a time today, so might be getting some more on the repeats. But I think we're going to stick with the live thing because it's just, I don't know, it's a bit more fun, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks for coming on, Money. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
So, Money, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. I go by Money on Stream, and my Twitter is at money__on it. And I started off doing a podcast back in 2022 with my partner Velli, and he was on the stock side and I was on the crypto side, and we just came together on different concepts. And then I ended up rebranding to Money on Crypto, which is the short series where I do like 1 to 3 minute videos on different cryptos, and I cover mainly the Hex and Pulse chain ecosystem to kind of give a short explainer, but still a lot of information at the same time that'll help people hear about these coins and actually understand too.
Okay, so when did you first get into crypto? Was it like but obviously before you got into Pulse chain or heard about Richard Hart?
Yeah, I've been in crypto since like February of 2020, and this would be was just when I started off learning. Like I was really new. I started off at stocks at first, like months before that, and then I was doing stocks and cryptos at the same time, trying to figure out what I was good at. Losing money here and there. It was all part of learning, but I went all in on just all cryptos. Like I stopped doing stocks because I remember I had it when I wanted to invest in Coinbase, and then when the stock came out, it was $250 a share, and I was just like, and I'm like, yeah, and then
welcome to the markets, my friend. Welcome to the market. Not what you think.
Yeah, and it is, and it's harder, than it looks. So you gotta play in the field. You gotta get out there, learn them skills, especially if you want to be a trader. See, I'm more of an investor. I found out what I was good at. I'm more long term, delayed gratification on my end too. And then I was watching people, like the variable bulls. So when I first got into crypto, I was in XRP and XLM, and then I got into Hex like later on.
You still hold them?
I hold everything the Hex and Pulse chain now. I believe more in that space, and then I used to try to hold everything that I thought was good, but later down the line I'm like, I want to hold a certain set, especially I don't got that Warren Buffett money, so sure. I just want to hold a certain set, and put a lot into there, and then I can get more out of that. And that's just thinning my money out, trying to invest in every single thing good.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've gone for a more concentrated approach on your portfolio for products you really believe in, and that for you is it kind of mainly Hex, or you got a nice mixture of the core tokens there?
Yeah, I got a nice mixture of the core tokens. I got Pulse, PLS, PulseX, a lot of Hex. A lot more Hex than those two. A lot of PHEX and EHEX. I believe in them both. So I hold those. I hold Hedron, one of the Hex derivatives, and another Hex derivative called Communis. So I hold a lot of that as well.
So you're most bullish on Hex, I would assume, in that case, rather than PulseX or Inc. or
Pulse. Yeah, most bullish on Hex and Calm. I mean, I do have like 22-year stakes with like Texan and No Fear too. That's also on Pulse Chain, and they do lockups. But other than that, I'm mostly concentrated on Hex and Calm. So that's my holding.
Gotcha, man. And if anyone wants to check out Money, he's just starting to kind of start streaming again. I think you used to stream, right? Quite do long episodes, right? And now you're just getting back into it recently with shorts and all that.
Yeah, because I was doing the shorts back then, but now getting back active. Now that I got now that I'm settled, because I was dealing with a lot. But other than that, you're gonna see like a lot more content. A lot more lives, and a lot more short posts as well. So.
Sorry, yeah. So just if anyone wants to check him out, his link is in the description. You can see him on X there. So yeah, what should we talk about today? Should we talk about? Do you guys want to start off with the upcoming week financial stuff we've got coming up?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a lot of dates this month. Has got some interesting dates that seem to be coinciding with each other. There's some economic news coming out. I just sent you some info on some dates a little bit ago. We keep going to around the September 22nd timeframe. There seems to be a lot of positivity around September 22nd, right? You got
the interest rate decision 17th of September, right? So that's the big one everyone's waiting for.
You've got the International Day of Peace on the 21st. You got the autumn equinox on the 22nd. The Indian Day there's a Hindu festival going on to celebrate good over evil on the 22nd. The UN meeting is like just before the 22nd, and there's a big vote going on about the UN and Israel and Gaza and all that stuff right in the 22nd. A lot of dates are converging into around the 22nd, 23rd. It's going to be interesting to see how the markets hold into that time frame and what happens, and as we progress.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting month because obviously you've got a lot of people and they love to show up. They love to show that chart and they kind of go, well, September's usually a red month. I think it's been red 8 times. Red 8 times and green 4 times. So everyone's kind of doing that thing. Well, I mean, I disagree. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a red month. I personally think it's more likely to be a green month, but that's just my take. Not sure what you guys' opinion on that.
Yes, it's whenever they start, with that money printer. In my opinion, so it's either I'm looking at just and it's my opinion, either later this year or possibly early next year. We'll start to see things like go up just like that.
Well, there's I think a high probability that there's going to be one large interest rate cut, a big one. If that happens, you're going to see some wicked volatility in the markets. They'll probably say, "Oh my God, the economy is really bad. It's everything's messed up, and it's going to be terrible. We're going to go down. We're going to tank, and you're going to see a correction." But if you buy it, there's a good chance that by the end of the day or tomorrow, we're gonna going, like everything's going to change, and all of a sudden narrative flips, and wait a minute, and here we go, and just like that right there, like you're showing, a lot's possible. It'll be interesting to see the news cycles and how the news cycles portray it leading into it, right? Then we've got a lot of ETFs and XRP that are on the board. The approvals are coming. You're going to see major inflows. It's like a 486x to volume based on the just the money flow of XRP of buy pressure. So if we see what we've seen so far in Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything else, and Ethereum's always, XRP's been one of the top market cap, tokens for a long time, and it's been suppressed this whole time. So because it's the money system changing into XRP, I think because of that 486x times the volume, we could, we're going into the 30s. We're going into the 20s and 30s into the end of the year. And that's, I think, a stabilized number. I think that's a baseline number. Could we head to the 50s on a wick? Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. So you might want to get back in there, Money.
Yeah. So you, I know obviously, everyone here knows that Vinluck's a big XRP guy. I hold a bag, but mainly into it because Vin Luck's so into it. He's quite convincing on it. But yeah, it looks like we've done a large, lovely big bull flag there. We covered before. Looks like we're kind of in a mini bull flag here, but I think it all depends on what happens really with Bitcoin over the next week, right? And what happens with Ethereum.
Yeah, listen, 10,000 Bitcoin. Let's go. Let's bounce off 10,000 already and shoot right to 140.
Yeah. So it's the weekly chart, by the way, guys.
Yeah, there's been posts out there too. Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just adding in there. There's been posts out there. Like the richest people out there selling their property to get all these Bitcoin. Especially Grant Cardone, everything for like what 400 Bitcoin.
Yeah, that came up right recently in our news stories, and obviously we want to talk about the Richard Hart electronic devices soon. But in the trends, when I asked Grok to tell us some trends on the cryptocurrency thing, it says Bitcoin flash crash and liquidations. A whale sell of 24,000 Bitcoin triggered a Bitcoin flash crash, leading to over $550 of liquidations. And obviously Richard Hart has, is it 80,000 Bitcoin?
Well,
and he's always speculating. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I mean, I think he has more than that, but that 80,000, that was a 10-year wallet that opened up. So there aren't too many people that have that kind of Bitcoin, that amount. I mean, an early miner, man, 50 blocks each, 50 coin each block. I mean, he was getting them himself. Like, this guy's got more than we think.
That's my opinion too. He has like a lot of Bitcoin to spare, especially the fact that he is an early Bitcoin miner, and then even when it was going up, he was still buying, and then he had enough to spare to buy that. What was it, that world's largest cut space diamond? He paid with that, in Bitcoin. So he had that much Bitcoin to waste, millions of dollars worth.
Dude, that was nothing, man. That was $1 million. Yeah. That was peanuts. That was his. That was pocket change for him.
And he did it with Bitcoin too. So that tells you right there, he got a lot more to spare if he's just wasting that much on a diamond. So,
and it's all about timing, right? I mean, let's move on to this top subject then, right? The key subject everyone's talking about the last few days. Well, I think he just posted it today, so we'll give this a quick read through the summary. So Richard Hart, I think he posted this today.
Saw that.
It was today, yeah. So he's saying 400,000 electronic devices, and they're going to be LCD tablets. So the kind of ones you can draw on. We've got a picture of it here. And he'll say he's got some branding on there. Free coins, pulsechain.com, reliable, hex.com. So yeah, what's your guys' thoughts on this? So I think they're going out this week. So I think people will start to receive them today. I've seen mixed reviews on them. So I've seen a lot of people kind of hating on it, saying, oh, I thought it would be something. I think a lot of people think it'll be a video postcard. A lot of people think it might be some sort of wallet. But I've seen other people, some other takes on this, where they're actually like, well, this is actually pretty bullish, right? You don't want to send necessarily a video card or someone will watch once and throw it away. You don't necessarily want to send a load of tokens to people who might not have any interest in using them. But this thing, right, I guess it's something useful for a household to have, something they might leave in the kitchen, write their grocery list on.
Played with. Kids
stuff like that.
With it.
Kids
aren't
going
to want to throw it away. No one's going to want to throw it away. You're going to draw on it. Kids are going to use it. My little 6-year-old would want to play on it and draw on it and have fun on it. But what's this over there? It's this hex.com thing and pulse chain thing and everything else. And all of a sudden everyone gets curious and starts looking at it. I think it's a setup. I think it's a ploy. I mean, it's certainly going to work to some degree, but I have a feeling the money flow that's going to come into it isn't going to be directly from that, right? Like, I think it's going to be, rail money's going to come in and stuff, and you're going to see money come in from everywhere, and hey, listen, that marketing worked. Yay, Bitcoin. I mean, Pulse Chain just rocketed 100x. Oh, what's that? It's 500x now. Like, you know,
Oh, look, all these new wallets that are buying.
400,000 of those little LCD coins are gonna pump this thing, 500x or 1,000x. So it's gonna take substantial institutional money and substantial money. He's gonna pump it himself, or he's got friends that are gonna do it, or whatever's gonna happen.
And he says
Yeah,
also.
that's the same thing I was thinking too. My fault, man. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Sorry, we had someone in the comments saying 300,000 allegedly. Well, I know initially we knew about the 200,000, right, on the first container, but he's saying there's 400,000 here ready to go. Maybe there's 200,000 and then another container, another 200,000 coming. But
whatever it is, it's going to pump. It's going to go.
Yeah, it's going to start off pumping. Just like pump.tire. When it came out, to start off pumping like crazy too, right. And then everybody was going crazy over that for like a good couple weeks.
I think here's a big thing that I think has really been upsetting for everybody, and I think disappointing is, and including myself. A lot of us were relying on better performance, right, over the last, let's say, 2 years. But at the end of the day, it's really an altcoin season thing, if you think about it. And when he put all that money into Ethereum for the reasons that he did, the cycles are going to play out the way that they're going to play out. He holds like 300,000 Bitcoin, possibly something like that. That's what the guy said. That sounds about right. That's a pretty big percentage of the 21 million out there that are almost, out there. But I think ultimately what everyone is suffering right now is impatience. And, listen, I've made and lost a ton of money in the last year or so. It's not been easy. Made some definite mistakes. Wish I certainly just kept DCAing into PulseX or whatever instead of speculating. I've definitely, admit that. But we're at a point now where if you do it right, no matter what you have, you can still make life-changing money when altcoin season really takes off. When we see whatever Ethereum move we're going to see, and then we see that rotation, it's going to be a big rotation this time. It's going to be a really, really big rotation. And it may be 3 months or 4 months, maybe real soon. We don't really know. M2 money supply, we'll see what that looks like. And we'll see where Ethereum actually winds up topping, because where Ethereum tops, I think, is going to determine how the altcoin seasons go, right? Ethereum, like we said last time, if you take the same percentage from the last top move, we got 8 to 10,000 somewhere in there, right? If you get an extension, we're going to go.
Depends on your time frame, right? So I think we're looking at easy.
Exactly.
I think a lot of investors, like Tom Lee said we're kind of going to 8 to 10,000 by end of year. He thinks Bitcoin is going to 200,000 by end of year. I think that is definitely possible. I think it's more likely that Ethereum goes to 8,000 than Bitcoin goes to 200,000 by the end of the year. But I think both are possible.
Yeah, I can see that happening too, especially with the big institutions, getting into Ethereum as well, and then the ETFs they got approved last year too. Yeah. So so I think Ethereum could go anywhere from 8 to 10 and probably 20 next year, or probably more than that.
Well, we gotta see. It's got, again, if you're looking at just the move from last cycle out after the breakout, and if it does the same thing, we're somewhere 9,000. If it makes a what we'll call the super cycle move, then what you're showing there, Sammy,
that's the super cycle,
because then you're going to be in that 45-degree trend line. You're going to be in the trend line at the top of the trend line. So,
we kind of when we first painted this back in I think it was back in May. Yeah, this kind of ghost. It looked like it was lagging behind, and it's actually outperforming it now. So it's kind of following it very damn closely.
Yep.
Once we break this 4,000, we come up and touch 5,000 almost, right? Made that all-time high. But once we kind of get through this consolidation here, it's a straight move up to 6K, right? And that's just a bull flag kind of measurement.
Yep.
And then maybe you get some consolidation there, maybe a retest of the 5,000, but then after that, again, you got targets of 8,000 to 11,000, and there you go.
Retest could be the October correction.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. You know, we got to adjust in a tap and you know, keep our head on a swivel and take it as it comes and see what happens.
We all know what happens is crypto, right? You can still have this massive FUD event, and you could have Bitcoin crash down to low 90s, high 90s, and you could have some consolidation before we get back to this price for a month, you know. And
yeah,
way, that could be healthier for the argument for the extension of the bull run. So either way,
yeah, and I've seen it so much. Yeah, like the FUD, and then, you know, people getting excited and FUD again. It's like when you're in crypto for a long time, you see it so much. It's like when you see it again, it's nothing new. That's why, like, people, like y'all was saying earlier, people fail to adopt a long-term mindset and doing whatever they can do to help themselves before the bull run actually happens. So why not just, you know, keep DCAing, you know, keep buying, keep staking, earning more coins until you get there. You know, I just never mind the FUD, you know, just keep a straight head, you know, but then people just get FUDed out, get shooken out, selling, and then they trying to buy the coins back at higher prices now. So when they had a lot more then. So yeah, it just shows you, you know, just adopt if you're going to go long term, just make sure you're doing whatever you can to make it easier for you, because sometimes it's not easy.
Yeah, and
so what's a good way, Sammy? Let's talk about it. What's a good way to stake, and let's talk about Vox, because
so obviously you've got
a nice move that they've just done.
Yeah, you've got the Hex farm. Let me quickly say hello. You've got DeFi Nation in the chats. Let's go. Tell the masses what up. We'll try our best. And obviously we saw I see him all the time. I've never pronounced his name right. Academaciated. And obviously Vox. Yeah, Vox is here. So yeah, Vox is one of the ways you can farm with your tokens. So you've got obviously you've got the Hex staking. Well, you go to hex.com and you can stake your tokens, earn more Hex. But obviously that was tuned down as we enter the bull run. So the rewards are not as high at the moment. So there are other options. If we are going to be an elongated bull run, a lot of people are expecting we are, you might have another year of this, right? Not another year of this, but maybe another few months. We start going up. Pulse chain starts to, you know, go up. You start farming, earning more of your earning more PLSX through single-sided staking. You can do that on Vox, right? You can earn more ink by single-sided staking. Let's have a quick look at that, because they've just added that on Vox.finance.
Yeah, they're like
Pulse
chain or PulseX alone or something. They were, you know, 79%, or there was some really nice single stake numbers there. Very, very worthy of, and this is a really good secured site. These guys are great, what they've done.
So you can pair your PulseX and your Pulse together. They're offering 47% there. So you don't even have to buy their token. You can just literally farm your RH cores here. You can pair your ink with your PulseX. Currently you get 85%. And obviously these numbers are quite low. That's why the percentage is so high. And then you've got the single-sided here, which has just been added this week on the right, where you can single-side stake your ink. So you don't have to get any impermanent loss. And you can currently earn 60.66% there. They've got about $5,000 in there over the last few days, so that's cool. But you've also got, I believe, on the other farm, if you go at the top here, if you go to Hype, you can single side your PLSX as well. Here we are on the bottom left here. Currently offering 69.15%. They've got about $7,000 in there over the last few days when they got launched. So it's a good place. And again, you can other pools here where you can just literally earn more PLSX. Earn more PLS. You get paid in Hype, but you can just sell that if you want and buy more PLSX. Or you can go ahead and maybe pair it with some of this Hex for some more rewards. So, yeah, that's cool. Thought we'd give them a shout out. Obviously, I've been helping them out with the marketing. And another quick shout out to emit.farms, another farming platform. Again, you can do all your core tokens. Here we are. You can single-side stake. You've got PulseX and Emit. They're also paying out quite a lot. They've got a lot of TVL now, almost $500,000. And quick shout-out to them because they actually increased the allocation for all the Pulse Bitcoin ecosystem farms. So thank you, Emit, for that. You've got 10x allocation in all these farms now. So currently, if you're mining Pulse Bitcoin via your ASIC, you're getting around 58% APY just on the mining Pulse Litecoin and Pulse Bitcoin. You can take the rewards, stick them in this farm here in the middle, and get another 25%. APY. So that's cool. Shout out to Emit for that. Talking of, should we have a quick look at the main charts here for Pulse Chain, since we've got a Pulse Chain Maxi on with us today.
Yep.
So how's Pulse doing this week? Okay, nothing's really changed.
Back down to the wedge. Yeah, it's holding that line strong.
Yeah. So it looks like it is facing that resistance a little bit, but as we said before, right, we're still in this pocket right here. Still in this kind of pocket. So let's see what happens.
It's also coming into the end of the quarter here. So we're getting end of the quarter pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your expectations, Money, for Pulse Chain coming into the end of this year?
Yeah, so my expectations is just gonna. I mean, it did take a dip, because of the Better Bank situation. But other than that, though, it's just gonna go up and down. Like in my opinion, it's just gonna go up and down until that switch is finally up, and then it just shoots up. So my take on it is just get it, and then this is just my opinion. No financial advice, but get as much as you can before the end of this year. That's my take on it. So I think that's when things is really going to start moving, definitely after this year. And Pulse, especially, with Pulse and the other core tokens shoot up fast, and people are going to swear they didn't see it coming. But for those that haven't got that much or haven't gotten into it, it's a good time to start DCAing now. So you got till the end of this year, whether it goes up or down. If it goes up, it's not going to be unaffordable. That's what you don't want to happen if you haven't got in yet.
100%.
So whether it's 2x, 3x, 4x, it's still going to be a good buy.
It's a no-brainer for me. But I think you've really got to understand, like Richard Hart. You've got to understand the plan and what's going on. I mean, for us, it's an obvious play, right? It's an obvious altcoin play. It's his first time it's been launched, right? So it's only having its first bull run, which is always a good sign. When you look at the average rates that some of these tokens do on their first run, especially something with this many holders, with a founder worth billions, all that money raised, I think we're still number 5 on the amounts of ETH we hold, and you've got some real monsters down there. So more than Coinbase, I believe, and still above Coinbase, and that's just the heck from the sacrifice. So that's just the ETH from the sacrifice.
Yeah, and guys,
we're in the top 5 out of all things.
Like, don't forget, like his mentality. He's talked about doing the spicy tweet, right? So, like, he wants to shake people out. Just remember that he wants to shake the weak holders out. It's part of the plan.
Well, because he captured their money, then, right? Because I guess if they sacked a lot of money in, or they bought in the last, on the way down, they get frustrated, they've left. And then as Money says, right, they have to come back in and buy their tokens at a premium, which just adds further fuel to the pump when he eventually starts to move it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that he doesn't want anyone to have free money in essence. And he, with the sacrifice and the tokens, he's also said, a lot of these are worth nothing, which makes sense. If they're adopted, then you've got something there, right? But if they're not adopted and it's just a meme token off of a copy, it's a copy meme off of something else that doesn't have any utility or doesn't do the same thing that the original token does, and what is it? So, you got to be really careful in that, in those copies. But at the end of the day, I think he's still very much, and I've certainly been a bit of a victim of it myself, is he really wants people to, to hold on to what they have, and the firm believers, the true believers, to be the ones that are there when he pumps it. So I think he's timing it. I think he's waiting for the real altcoin season when he thinks Ethereum tops is when Pulse Chain starts to move. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pulse Chain goes down and sideways from here and builds a base over the next 2 months. And if money supply, the expansion theory will send us into maybe April of next year because of M2 money supply. And if that happens, we could have just a wicked top next April in alts. And that's when you'll see Pulse Chain top or whatever. I don't think it would go. I'd be surprised if it goes past there, simply because of politics. And I think we're going to see some disruption happen because we're going to be going into the election cycle in America. And we're going to be, while we're going to be entering into a great golden time, right? We've got a 250-year anniversary. We've got the World Cup coming, Trump's 80-year birthday party. Like, there's all kinds of stuff.
You
all
guys got the
tariff money.
Olympics. You guys got the Olympics coming as well, right?
It's the I think so. Yeah, I don't remember when, but I know FIFA's coming, which is going to be big. 7 cities.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
You know, it's going to be huge. And remember all the infrastructure money. Remember the money coming from the stablecoin bill with updating and basically backing fiat and buying treasuries, and that's just going to go into the infrastructure in the country. So we've got like a major move coming next year. The question is, and if you think about it from a cyclical point of view, right? What can come bigger? So if nothing can come bigger, isn't that a top?
Yeah, and obviously you've got these ETH treasury companies accumulating more and more. So I think we had Bitminer, which is obviously like the Michael Saylor of Ethereum. And they're accumulating at 10 times the pace that Michael Saylor was accumulating Bitcoin, following this Genius Act legislation and following the Clarity Act. And we just had an update on that this week. So they started off with a $5 billion budget, roughly, by the money they're accumulating from selling
like
their shares.
50, like in like weeks.
Up to 20 now, up to 20 million.
Big number, yeah.
20 billion. So I think they've only spent around 6 billion at the moment.
And Tom said that they didn't even raise any more money. They were able to get more Bitcoin and accumulate it.
You just had, I got a news story here on that.
That'll make you bullish. I don't know what.
Yeah. But like I said, remember, right, with all of this going on, just think from a macro level, think from a big picture. With everything happening, and this is going to push maybe an extended cycle, what can come that's even bigger than that? Not much, right? So we might, with all of this happening, it could push a top into next year. So if you're like a round tripper and you're just thinking long term, remember, when this goes down in a bear market, 98% that you're thinking I'm going to round trip, you know, you want to blow your head off, like, just have a plan. Have a plan to DCA out and protect yourself. Even figure out a way to hedge in the downside. Just have a plan. That's all. I got a plan. So have a plan.
Yeah, don't be afraid to, take profits as well too. Take a little profits, at the same time, DCA whenever you can.
What else, Sammy?
We got some news stories. We got some other macro stuff. Here we are. You got something you want to talk about here. I remember hearing about this, but I think you want to break this one down for us. I'll add this to screen. So we got President Trump's executive order, which he signed. I think it was a few weeks ago, right? Back in March. But you want to talk about the impact of this one.
So this is huge, and part of what this plays into is how Trump has said he wants to kind of like put up some BLM land for sale. Now, that's very dangerous because of who could buy the land. So you have to be really careful in that. But this is going to be really big because, one of the big questions is this playing into the reset of the financial system where the precious metal minerals are going to be used put in stockpile as an asset-backed system? So as we create the digital stablecoin backed by the fiat dollar, are we going to also add minerals to that? Are we going to add precious metals to that? I guess it remains to be seen, but this all starting to happen in a very, conspicuous, simultaneous time frame, let's just say. And we also know that they're not going to tell us outright what they're doing until it's kind of done already. They're going to do things and they're going to play it off to another initiative, and this is part of that, and this is part of that. But at the end of the day, at the bottom, at the back of the puzzle, it's all connected in the tree, and it's all in the back room. It's all connected.
I heard some mixed reviews about this one. So obviously, you've got China and Russia accumulating gold, silver, for example. Russia kind of, I think there's lots of debate about Russia kind of mainly backing their currency up by silver and gold, right? So it would make sense.
Yeah, rumor like 20,000 tons, right, for China, and then that was back then.
So I guess the timing makes sense. But someone else told me on this story. I remember hearing about it on a podcast a few months ago. I didn't really understand it, if I'm honest. But they said, they were a bit surprised by it because doesn't it give so the US government, right, aren't actually going to profit directly from the minerals being taken out of government land? Isn't it going to go through privates?
Yeah.
Private people?
So what they're basically doing is they're facilitating permits, right? One of the worst things in America is the extensive permitting that you need for everything, right? Completely insane. So there's a handful of ways that money can flow from government institutions and to allow the expedition, to expedite permitting. And that's a really big deal because it could take years, right? We have so much tailings. The very first gold deal I ever did as a consultant was a tailing deal, right? Where there was so much tailings, gold tailings, which is basically just the gold waste of the mining operation to basically dig out the mine. And that is all dug up like when a dog digs and all that dirt that's all tailings. There's a lot of gold in that. So we basically filtered out through there when we went through it. And there's so much gold and minerals and precious minerals. And he knows that it's a national strategic interest. It's an issue. The Chinese have been buying land all around military bases, and they've been buying strategic land and strategic parts because America has had this laissez-faire kind of, mentality of, anyone can just buy anything they want because we're America. Well, guess what? They use it against us, right? So they know it now, right? The current administration knows it, putting a stop to it. And we're going to enable American companies to basically come in, mine our own property without having to go through years of look at what he's doing with nuclear, right? You're going to see a Democratic agenda that's going to try to stop Trump's nuclear agenda. Nuclear is probably the safest kind of energy you can have. Aliens in 1,000 years, whoever's out there is going to say to us, there's two stupid things humans did. Single-use plastic bottles, along with stuff like that, and to put away to close down all the nuclear and to not go nuclear. Like it's actually safe. Things like
it's safe if it's built in a safe place by non-war-torn countries, not on earthquake lines.
I'm not talking about the old nuclear technology on fault lines. That's correct. There are some amazing new technologies that when I say nuclear, I kind of use it as a generic term that are so high tech right now that are really, really safe, easy to move, really able to actually make it happen. That's what's trying to be installed. And you're going to see a news media spin of saying it's the old nuclear waste, it's all bad. I promise when you look into it, you're going to see this new technology that's being integrated. And that's a part of this because we got uranium in this country. We've got these things. We've got heavy metals. We need the rare earth minerals and the rare earth metals to make these things. Not to make windmills, magnets for windmills that are stupid, but we need them to build energy plants in our country and its national strategic interest. So a lot of what you're seeing in that has to do with our national security and allowing for the mining and mineral industry to basically drill, baby, drill and dig, baby, dig is what it is.
So yeah, obviously energy being a huge part of the economy. So
it's gigantic. If we can bring energy prices down, we'll see the economy just take off. That's
the major problem we have in the UK is extremely high energy prices compared to like France and the rest of Europe. Sky high, these energy prices, and it is a massive. If you haven't got cheap energy, it's very hard to have a strong economy. 100% agreed. And so we'll keep an eye on that one. What develops with that. Let me see what else we had here to cover today. We got some trends that we usually cover. Should we have a look at some of those? So I asked Grok this week. So I asked it to give us 3 subjects in cryptocurrency, 3 subjects in geopolitics, and then 3 subjects in economics. Obviously, we went live on Tuesday, so I've asked it to isolate those for the biggest news stories in those 3 categories from the last 3 or 4 days. So let's have a look at what we got here. And if you guys want to riff on any of it, go ahead.
Gotcha.
So obviously we mentioned this earlier, the Bitcoin flash crash when we saw Bitcoin kind of drop down. What was it? So
you got to get those. You got to liquidate those futures out before we can move. So, when you're over leveraged, you can go to the website to see all of the leverage on there. We need that in order to make a positive move up.
And then we got US. And also, by the way, on that point, it's funny, isn't it? I remember when Bitcoin dropped this week and Ethereum went down. I think on Tuesday it went down to 4,100, and I think the smart people, including Bitminer, they scooped up a bunch. But just seeing all the people on X, this is the end of the bull run. This is the end of the bull run. And it's like, dude, you've gone down 5% on Bitcoin. What are you talking about?
The bull, like in my opinion, the bull run hasn't even started. Really.
Yeah, it's like we got down to Bitcoin could go down to 92,000. It would still be in a bullish uptrend. It's just madness how patient people are. How much panic.
Yeah. I mean, even if it goes, down to 92,000 right now, that's just for the, that's the dip for the rich to buy. Basically, it's just dipping. People yell, end of the bull cycle for everything, even though it hasn't even started.
Screaming nonsense. Let's go number 2 because that's a big one.
So obviously, I mean, US passed the Genius Act to regulate stablecoins. I don't know why it's giving me this one, but it's saying promoting major financial institutions like Bank of America to plan their own dollar. Yeah, but that's an old story. I don't know why it's telling us that.
It is an old story, but here's the thing: Fiserv is now in it. Fiserv is a very big company. It's a very important company in the financial system in America. And one of the things I've been talking about for like the last 5 years since I've gotten in crypto is the major companies are going to create their own stable coins and watch what happens when you get paid in their stable coin.
Yeah.
So if you work for Bank of America, you're going to get paid in Bank of America stablecoin. If you work for Apple, you're going to get paid in an Apple stablecoin. Watch how that plays out.
You think like Facebook Meta is going to do their own stablecoin too finally, like they said it was going to do?
Yes.
Wasn't it called
it'll happen.
Libra or something? They launched it and it's called Libra or something.
And that was a disaster. But it'll happen, and this is what's going to wind up happening. Elon Musk's plan for X is to be like WeChat, is to be a single app for everything in your life, including a payment solution. X is going to be a single app for everything in your life, including a payment solution. X will have an X stablecoin. Mark my words, X will have an X stablecoin. And all of these major companies, let's say Fortune 500 companies, will have their own, most of them, their own stable coin.
Yeah, and the smart ones will build their own layer 2s on already established networks. And because otherwise you're not benefiting from the network effect, right? It's like
that exactly, Metcalfe's law, exactly.
Yes. So it's like if you're Wells Fargo, I know JP Morgan have been building their L2 now, a closed L2 for about 3 years now.
A few years, yeah.
And so you're right. It's like, so you want to be able to take your Bank of America stablecoin, take any, so then you can build anything you want on there and plug it straight in, and then people can take their stablecoins and they can utilize Base, they can utilize whatever, share all those users, and they can plug straight into the corporations that have their L2s. So like McDonald's been developing on Ethereum, you've got Starbucks have been developing on Ethereum, and soon you'll have their rewards programs, right?
That's right.
Operating on that system.
It's and then you're kind of going to see the new blockchain era, how it plays out.
And so the more users
on X. Even Pulse Chain, everyone in Pulse Chain, we've been talking about it. We've been saying it's going to all come out. Yeah. Everyone's going blockchain. Watch how this plays out. And everyone's going to be connected and do their stable coins and do their jobs. And it's all going to be integrated.
Yeah, man. Even if you're not in Ethereum, again, we always say this, man. Like, you want a strong Ethereum. I remember in the early days of Pulse Chain, people were fudding Ethereum, and I kept saying to them, "Don't fud Ethereum." Like, Richard Hart has got all your money in Ethereum that you sacrificed, right?
Yeah,
and he's got a lot of his own money in Ethereum. You know, he's got a lot of Bitcoin, which we discussed earlier, but he prefers Ethereum. So
and we're in the top 5 still.
Yeah,
top
exactly.
5 still out of everybody, out of all these, institutions that still buy.
So I want to talk about number 3, and I'm going to call something here because you mentioned earlier, Money. I think you mentioned it about Grant Cardone. So I know Grant Cardone. I know him, but I don't know him. He knows me, right? We talked a lot on Spaces. I get on, he calls me because I'm the one that got him to buy his Hummer.
Who is this, by the way? You can't
That's
recall who you're
great.
talking about.
Grant Cardone. He's a big real estate mogul in America. Okay. He moved from California to South Florida, where I've lived for years. I don't live there now, but I've lived there for 20 years. Next town over, basically, where he went. He moved down to Aventura. And he's a big real estate guy, right? And he had this whole fund, this whole big real estate fund. There was a lawsuit involved. He didn't do anything wrong. There was a lot of slander that happened. But I'm going to make a prediction. You can quote me on this one. You can, he's now basically merging Bitcoin into his real estate projects. Okay. And it's great, wonderful. I'm glad he's doing it. However, there's going to be a very, very nasty bear market next time around. And his real estate projects are going to be in a lot of trouble because of the amount of top buying Bitcoin that he does this cycle. So when the rotation happens and he has gone forward and done this in a bull market, not a bear market, and he's now down 80 something percent in his Bitcoin, he is going to be in a world of hurt, trouble, stress, you name it.
Well, he's only going to be that much down if he's over leveraged, right? Because if he's buying spot, I don't think you're going to see those pullbacks again with institutional money. I think you're going to see.
He's going to be hurt. It's going his product that he has is going to be down substantially for a couple of years, whether it's 80% or 30% or 40%. I don't think the institutions can hold the downside as much as they could the upside. Okay. Institutions will have to protect themselves to some degree. Now, yes, they can hold long, and that's fine. They can hold for the longer cycle, but a lot of them will have their stop losses. They have their institutional regulatory inside their own governmental, inside their own governance, their own stop losses. So if those stop losses occur, it's not going to be a pretty picture. No matter what happened as we've been holding back because they want to take their positions and now that's going to take off. Okay, great. The bubble might pop and just explode up. But let me tell you something. They're probably not going to sell and retail is all going to get in and the smart money is going to sell. But when he's taking his Bitcoin and he's putting up against his real estate that he's doing now, and he's going to buy the top in Bitcoin is what he's going to do. And on that next bear cycle, I'm telling you, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So I hope he doesn't get in trouble. I'm not wishing bad on him. I like Grant a lot. We've had great conversations, he and I. And I hope he hears this. I tried to get to him and say it, but I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because he's doing it in the bull cycle. If he did it in a bear cycle, it's more difficult because you don't have the hype to be able to do it, right? So got to be really careful, and I hope he hedges himself as we get up there to protect that downside. If he doesn't hedge himself, we got a problem. But the adoption that we're going to see now, we're really going to see on an institutional level. You're seeing now the real world assets. You're seeing a lot of real good adoption happening in crypto and in blockchain. And I said this for years, and Sammy, you know this, and everyone else in Pulse Chain that knows me on Spaces for years knows that they're not going to be able to take the blockchain bear market because a bear market in equities is what, 30%, give or take, right? That's what they're used to. So now the stock market, the markets, the legacy Wall Street markets are going to have blockchain adopted into equities markets, but they don't understand the downside. So it's going to be the next bear market is going to be a very, very ugly bear market. And you have to have solid protection and a plan. Good luck, Grant.
Yeah, I believe it too, and hopefully, he just keeps talking to somebody, like you or somebody else, that's going to educate him more on like how the crypto market works because crypto does go up a lot, but it can also go down a lot in return.
He's
So
got
if you're
smart
not,
guys on his team. I'm sure he knows
yeah,
it.
so he gonna need so he gonna need him. If you,
But I'm telling you,
think he's might
the
end up
people
doing
that, and this is not even just a Grant Cardone prediction. I'm saying it because, you mentioned his name earlier. I've been watching what he's been doing. I've said this in spaces before, that I'm telling you, in general, you're going to get the lagging, legacy equities markets that's now adopting blockchain into their equities, into their business plan, into their business models. But they're not going to really understand like the volatility of crypto, and it's very volatile. So now you're pegging it's typically a PE ratio and all this stuff, right, based on earnings. Well, it's going to be a little bit more volatile than they're used to, and I got a feeling the next cycle through, it's going to be a wild, bad FUD cycle regarding earnings and markets down compared to earnings, and the valuations are going to be upside down. People are not going to know what's going on. It's never been like this before. Watch. That's what's going to happen. I mark my words. You can quote me on it.
Well, hopefully before that we get the bull run of all bull runs, which I think we will. Right? Obviously, we've had that diminishing returns every cycle, right? Especially with ETH and Bitcoin. But if we are breaking out of the kind of the top, I think we've kind of got a top in roughly around 160,000. If we've kind of hit a normal top on Bitcoin,
like
but I'm saying if you traditionally went through the diminishing returns this cycle, you'd end up somewhere around there, right? So if we can break that to the upside, and ETH breaking out of its consolidation has been for 4 years, then potentially we could have an epic run before that brutal bull market comes in, right? I
was on with Gary once, Gary Cardone, his brother, and I said to him when I called, I said, Gary, because I know, like, what's his name? Jen's. Anyway, I was on with Gary Cardone, and I said, Gary, we got a big run coming. Okay, I go, we're gonna make a run towards 1 million, right? And I didn't mean we're gonna really hit 1 million. Like, I think we're just gonna make this run where the markets, everyone's gonna talk about, we're going to 1 million, we're going to 1 million. We're not going to 1 million, but everyone's gonna think we're kind of going there. And what ultimately is what I said was, look, if you take each top, it's about a 7x from each top to where it topped again, right? It actually puts us at about 440,000. Okay. So if you take another 7x from the 69,000, where are we? So if you just do the math there, right, we might see 440,000 Bitcoin. But if you're going to hold that, you got more bulls than me.
Me too. Me too.
Which would mean you at least get a $40,000 ETH, which would mean God knows what price for Pulse Chain.
God, man, yeah, because Pulse Chain is definitely heavily
do the math. Look at it.
Too.
Look at the top. Look at Bitcoin's top breakout each time, right? It's about 6.9x. So if you just do it again, okay. But remember, it went from 69,000 down to 15 last time. So what does that mean?
That crash was nasty.
What does that mean now? 440,000 to where? To back down to 50,000. So, that's what I was telling Gary Cardone when he thought I said, got institutions coming in, governments are going to be buying, strategic reserves coming in, they're going to not sell what they've got, governments around the world are buying, all this stuff's going to happen fast. And I think Gary, he didn't know I've actually dealt with government. So I'm telling you right now, you got states in America that are going to put it on their treasury, right? That are starting to do. So it's going to happen faster than you typically think because government works very, very slowly, but we see it kind of playing out a little faster than I think people really realized. But if you just do the top math, you can reasonably say that Bitcoin might hit like the mid 400s. But okay, where did it go after that? And not too long after that, by the way. Right? Last time it topped to 69. Where did it go? Right? How long did it take?
It did that dirty double top, didn't it? Which really screwed a lot of people over.
Called on the day. Which Richard called on the day, right? But again, 6 months later, it was at 15,000. What was it? 6 months, 7 months, right?
Yeah, no, it was about 6 months. It was going down for.
So don't think for a second that it can't happen again. Don't think for a second that just because the institutions have held it back for a longer period of time and we think we're going to get this major super cycle. I got news for you. They might not. They're smart. They might not be buying anymore. They might be selling that top or hedging that top, right? So we'll have to see how it plays out. But just do the math. That's 7x on each top each time.
And this is for the
somewhere around there.
Yeah, and this is for the the viewers that are watching too. Just remember that we're already above the top that happened last time with the 69K. The bull hasn't started yet, and the halving already had started earlier, and then we're already
it
over
depends which bull you're talking about, right? Because bull market and Bitcoin started at the bottom of 15,000, so Bitcoin's been in the bull market.
I'm gonna say the super cycle that we're going to have, like in the future.
Yeah, I mean, if we have one, however long that lasts, right? Ethereum has been here for Sammy. How long has Ethereum been here for? 4 years? Hasn't gone anywhere.
Oh yeah, we've been consolidating for 4 years. We're just breaking out now,
right?
Essentially,
just breaking out. Yeah, now
we got 4 year consolidating from 4,000 and change down to 1,000. I think Ethereum's bottom
1,500.
Like 1,500, 900 and something, right? But at the end of the day,
before this,
we're what, a 2x over its average over the last 4 years. That's nothing, right?
It's basically what gold did. It's what gold did basically. Gold just consolidated pretty much. It didn't even beat inflation for like the last 8-10 years, and then suddenly in the last year, it's just exploded, right?
Yeah. Listen, I told my rich stepfather in 2003. I said, you take all your cash reserves and you make it gold reserves, right? You take all your cash. I'm saying this on X too. I say it forever. Your cash reserves need to be in gold.
Yeah.
In crypto, fine, but in gold.
Yeah, because of the crypto's volatility, and then once you start taking profits, you gotta.
But also remember, Trump don't want the dollar he wants to go down, but not destroyed. So the stable coin legislation, the Genius Act, and all that with the crypto stable coin again, it's going to stabilize it. So while we're still going to lose buying power, we're still going to see it go down. It's not going to that is actually going to save the fiat system, and I say that with very delicate wording of save.
I was just going to say, drop a follow for our guest here. I'm going to drop a little link here in the comments. See if I can put that up there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, drop a follow for our guest, Money. He's doing a lot of Pulse Chain and Hex content, so give him your support. We got 70 viewers on X right now. So that's better than last week. It was nicely growing. And only one or two on YouTube.
Yeah, follow us all. Follow us all on X. Pulse Nation 369. The AI Crusades is coming.
Drop it in the comments and we'll put it up there.
Oh, man. We even got content creators, warning about this too, that do the usual reactions to like music or just anything like trending on YouTube. Had to stop and then talk about like how crazy AIs get. And especially within the next 3 years, it's already getting scary now.
Wait till you find out what we're doing. Sammy and I are building. I'm telling you, the next AI Crusades is coming. We are launching it ourselves. We've got something big happening. We're building a prediction model that is going to be spectacular. It is going to predict everything under the sun, and it's going to use AI to do it. We are very, very close to having to engage in and start the back end connections to everything. I've got the plans all ready and set, and all of the infrastructure layout and the how it's going to happen is all done already. So it's been months and months of deving to make that happen. So we're really, really close. There's basically two separate plans with our prediction model and the AI Crusades. The AI Crusades is a real deal. I think the Antichrist has been here for a while. And to get really serious about it, AI is being used to control and enslave humanity, just like it's been used in a variety of ways for generations and generations. It's just now it's digital, and now you got a tremendous amount of people that are basically being brainwashed and enslaved through social media, through this thing we call an iPhone or an Android, and don't understand what the true nature of it is, and they just believe everything that they hear. Right? There's a lot of NPCs out there that are just off the wall and think that they just don't really understand what's actually happening. But you see a revival happening in America. You see revival happening all around the world. People are getting baptized everywhere. It's happening in droves. There's revivals. There's music revivals happening. Sammy texted me at church. I was in church. The music was jamming. We were having a blast. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a big movement coming. And what we're going to do is we're going to protect against the AI Antichrist. And it is an AI crusade. And we're going to have fun doing it. There's going to be a meme attached to it, but there's also going to be a real serious order that is going to engage in doing this. And it is the next crusade order. So we're going to have fun with it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So we've got 3 projects at the moment. We got we're also upgrading the Pulse Bitcoin ASIC. Well, we call the ASIC mining hub, right? So
ASIC mining hub now. Yeah.
So currently we don't really want to share anything yet, but basically you go to ASIC mining hub. We don't know the URL yet. And it's going to show you that you're currently mining Pulse Bitcoin, you're currently mining Pulse Litecoin at the same time on Ethereum or Pulse Chain. But then we're going to make it so you might be able to mine this new AI token that we have. And then now the developers can come on there and just make a certain percentage of their new token mineable via ASIC as well. So you might end up with a whole stream of tokens you're mining every month with your ASIC tokens. On Pulse Chain or on Ethereum, that's up to you.
Yeah, you're going to be able to burn ASIC basically to mint new tokens and then mine them based on the ASIC smart contract. And then when the smart contract is done mining, it'll just be on its own and you can just mint whatever you want. But that'll be like, 10 years from now or something?
Yeah. Like that. That's kind of what we're looking at the moment. So still developing away on Pulse Chain. We are on Pulse Chain for the long run, not just this cycle,
Yeah, sounds good, and I can't wait to see, hear the news and see what y'all release, about the AI side and about what y'all doing with Pulse Bitcoin and Pulse Litecoin, especially with the mining thing, because that sounds a lot more simple than just buying, keeping up with buying the hardware and wasting a lot of energy.
That was the whole purpose
of it. That too.
That's the whole purpose of it, for the average person to be able to mine easily without having to get hardware and just click a button and then software mining. Sammy, how'd you like that music I sent you, man?
Yeah, it's good, man. He's making the AI music. I've got a few friends doing that. I got another friend online. He just literally does all his vlogs. He does travel vlogs, all using AI music, and it's a good way to circumnavigate having to pay for music rights.
So
and then you can tailor it for yourself.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, please go to my X at PulseNation369. Look at my pinned tweet, and I've got a Suno album, my first Christian rock Suno album. That is off the hook. It's completely off the chain. You won't be able to shut it off. It is spectacular. Listen to Unfailing King, Soar on Wings. Like, I'm telling you, I wake up playing this. I woke up last week literally singing lyrics. God was talking to me. I woke up singing the chorus, and then I just started typing, right? So I've been building this for over the last few weeks. The first one was Caffeine and Jesus, which I think you're going to love. So check it out, Money. Please listen. I'd love to hear some feedback from you. See if you see if it hits home. Share it with everybody. Please go on Suno. It's a free account. Just log on. It's brand new. I got one follow from my friend. Just please follow and like and see. And I'm going to go distribution and publish it. I got 7 songs. Obviously, 7 is a number for a reason. And it's full on rock. It was written for Brandon Lake. I will send it to Brandon Lake one day and sell it all to him. That is my goal. And I need everyone's help to be able to do it. So please give me a follow on that and just share it with everybody, man. I'm telling you, I promise you, when you start listening, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
and I'll definitely be on both of y'all channels too after this.
Yeah, and obviously, Money, if ever you want to come back on, just let us know, We say that to all our guests and, be a friend of the channel. And if you ever want to talk about something, just hit us up and jump on,
Yeah, definitely.
Right
on.
On.
And then I'll be going live soon too. So, feel free to hop on. I'm going to have a few other guests on too. So we can just talk about different things as well.
Yeah, just let us know and we'll advertise it to our audience for sure, man.
Cool.
But yeah, thanks. By the way, thanks everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
77
Thanks,
followers
everybody.
on X. So please drop a comment on the X post Drop a like if you feel generous. That really helps us out.
Retweet.
And
like it.
we'll be live next Sunday as always. So see you all soon.
See you later, guys. Have a good week. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
All right, bye.